He is effectively New York City's biggest landlord. The new chair of NYCHA now runs an agency that oversees more than 400,000 public housing tenants. With just 1 month on the job, Gregory Russ is facing several challenges. $32 billion in unfunded repairs, a tough federal monitor, and a deficit of trust after a lead scandal. Tonight, the I-Team's Glorioso sits down with the new NYCHA chief to talk about the seismic changes ahead for this troubled housing agency. Chris?
Well, in an in-depth interview, Gregory Russ told us to close this huge funding gap, NYCHA is going to have to try strategies never tried before. And he said he knows tenants and workers will be suspicious of some changes, including the partial privatization of some buildings.
Keep public housing public.
NYCHA's new chief, Gregory Russ, takes over just as the battle heats up over privatizing some of New York City's public housing.
Public housing public.
In your time in Minneapolis, there was a group that was critical of you. They called you the czar of privatization. Is that fair?
No, I felt that was really propaganda.
When he ran public housing authorities in Massachusetts and Minnesota, Russ used a federal program called RAD to attract private investment. In an hour-long interview with the I-Team, the new NYCHA chair said he plans to use RAD again to privatize the management of about a third of NYCHA apartments.
RAD brings private investment and private capital. We need that.
But Russ says he wants NYCHA tenants and the public to know selling management rights to buildings is different from selling the actual bricks and mortar.
Is there ever a moment in time where you would be in favor of selling infrastructure, not just privatizing the management of a building, but selling the building?
No. That question gets asked a lot because we're sitting on some of the most valuable real estate in the world. And I think it's a fair question. And I think our answer is, how do we release the value of that asset without losing a single unit?
Russ said he also cannot afford to lose the trust of tenants. That's why the new NYCHA chair said he's concerned about the way the ailing agency handles routine complaints about vermin, mold, plumbing leaks, and peeling paint. Often tenants put in work orders. Those work orders get closed, but the problems don't get solved.
I've talked to residents, too, who say the same things you're communicating to me right now. Hey, I put in this work request, I got part of it done, and then the rest of it is still lingering. That we just can't continue to do that. It's not customer service, and it's not right.
How much of it has to do with the labor contracts that you have inherited?
We are going to talk to our union partners.
Are you going to ask for concessions in the labor contracts?
I want to ask if the trades are open to talking about the work rules, yes. I don't know if I'd call them a concession. I'd like to think that we could sit down with them and talk about how we do work together.
If Russ is to be successful, he'll also have to work together with the Trump administration. Russ says NYCHA needs more federal funding to fix those decrepit buildings. Trump has sought to eliminate capital funding in recent years, only to be thwarted by Congress.
I want to give you a chance to vent about the way the Trump administration has at least proposed further cuts to public housing.
I think it's particularly egregious that in the president's proposed budget, they zeroed out the capital fund.
President Trump's top housing official in New York, Lynn Patton, has already criticized Russ's decision to leave family back in Minnesota and visit them on the weekends. She says, given his contractual salary just over $400,000 a year, he needs to consider this a 7-day-a-week job. Russ chose not to engage that criticism into our interview, saying he sees himself more of an administrator, not someone who should be getting into political squabbles. Back to you.